but need to be led out of that as they mature.
But the parents themselves don't know how to reason and live on emotion. I don't know if you've been listening to the show tonight, but I had a caller in the last hour, a woman who got mad at me. And she said, well, I've been listening to your ramblings, but Michael Jackson was great. And I had to slowly try to have a reason. Did you hear that call?
I'm not sure.
Well, okay, you didn't. That's okay. But she could not reason with me. She got offended by my reason. And I said, well, who was a great president? She said, John F. Kennedy. I said to her, why? She didn't have an answer. She said, well, he took a bullet for the country. I said, that doesn't make him great. What did he do as a president that made him great? She couldn't answer, and she hung up. Because she herself has no capacity for reason. She has only emotion. You understand, Larry? That's what you're saying. Is that right?
That's what the media is doing right now. They're just leading the people. And
they're leading the people. They're like children being led by the Pied Pipers of the media, and they're doing it for many reasons. Ratings certainly are one. To cover up Obama's falling ratings, number two. To cover up Obama's failures with Iran, with North Korea, with the situation in Honduras, a complete abject failure on every front, a man who is bankrupting the Treasury to an extent that no one can comprehend, again covered up by the very same vermin in the media. I have nothing but contempt for this generation of people in the media. They have destroyed this country. And I will tell you again, you may say the political class is awful, and you are right. But guess who created them? I'll tell you who created them. The media created them. They're a product of the media. That's why we have men like Harry Reid. That's why we have people like Nancy Pelosi. That's why we have people like Al Franken in office, because the media has created their popularity and covers up their flaws. And consequently, men like me, who many of you consider to be quite a decent person and quite an accomplished man, are vilified by the very same vermin in the media. But they haven't been able to get rid of me yet, have they? Now, they're working on it, I agree. They've gone to their British fascist cousins, and they have put me on a banned in Britain list. Well, too bad for Britain. I didn't plan on going there anyway. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Mississippi Tim, you are on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. I cannot believe I'm wasting breath on Michael Jackson. I'll get to the media here in just a second, but if all those people who want to feel bad about somebody dying want to do that and want to do that productively, they ought to go to Dover and watch some of our servicemen come back and box us.
Amen. Amen. I agree with you, Tim. And that's the second great tragedy of all of this. To understand how many men have died and are dying on a daily basis for our nation who get zero respect from the media.
Yeah, that's irrespective of whether you believe the war is good or not. These guys are there doing their duty. But here's my point, I think, Michael, and I could talk to you for hours because we agree on almost everything. The media is doing this. Obviously, there are political ramifications to it.
Yes.
The only way to stop the media is to turn them off.
That's correct, but remember this, and here's the problem, John. They have a captive audience of stay-at-home moms, welfare recipients, and others who sit at home all day long watching television. They drive the ratings on television. It's a very big story. It's a hidden secret. But the entire media is driven by numbers, and the numbers generally are a lower level of society. Let me put it to you that way. Gauged by a relative lack of productiveness. And consequently, they are continuously pulling the nation down to a lower common denominator.
And that's exactly what this administration wants, for this country to be hijacked.
Well, who do you think elected Obama? How do you think this unknown junior senator who did nothing in his life except put up posters on telephone poles, how did he become president? Other than you had a media-driven candidate turned into a celebrity, and then, of course, they stimulated the masses with the same hysteria that they are doing with Michael Jackson. I got to run along, my friend. Thanks for being so kind. I'll be right back.
Hi there. We are Armstrong and Getty. We're on every morning 6 to 10 here on 910 KNEW, or download the podcast and listen anytime at 910KNEW.com.
The Savage Nation. Hopefully this madness will be over by tonight. I doubt it. I believe that the media frenzy has only just begun. I believe you're going to be regaled with this madness for days and days and days And that is because Obama is giving away America's sovereignty on his little tricycle that could. Missouri John, you're on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Dr. Savage, as a somewhat educated American soldier, I find this disturbing, of course, but also very fascinating. I'm in the airport yesterday, and on the news, they interrupt the deification ceremony of Moleck Jackson for about 45 seconds to mention that Robert McNamara had passed. So I asked the bartender, have you ever heard of Robert McNamara? She said, no, of course. And I said, well, he didn't have any hit singles, of course, but...
but Robert McNamara was a horrible defense secretary who accounted for largely for the failure of the troops to win in Vietnam. In other words, the troops didn't fail. It was McNamara's war strategy that caused the loss in Vietnam. A much greater man than McNamara was a man named Curtis LeMay, who I talked about yesterday on the show. But go on, please.
Yes, sir, but he... whether you agree with his policies or not, he had an effect on history. The woman you talked to earlier on the phone, not only did she show an inability to reason, but she also showed a lack of perspective and the inability to view things historically.
Correct.
Like when you asked her to rate American iconic figures. Yes. And that's how vapid and how uneducated the majority of the sheeple have become, that they're completely unable to distinguish. I mean, they really think that this guy did something for the country, and whether McNamara was a good or bad man, the effect he had on history is palpable and significant, and they have no clue. And I think...
All right, you make a good point. In other words, he was significant in that regard.
Absolutely. And the media...
Yeah, but, you know, I don't want to just argue with you rhetorically, but you could say Michael Jackson was significant within the world of music amongst a certain demographic. I think you could say that.
Oh, absolutely you could, but it's, you know...
To me, Zip, nothing, nada. Nothing. Never liked his music. Always looked at him as an idiot. Whenever I saw him jumping around the stage, I looked with somewhat one eye raised, like, what is this all about? I never understood it. I never understood the man's appeal because I thought he appealed to little children, frankly.
He's just a dancing singer, and these people venerate him as if he's had some sort of...
Well, that's because the media and the entertainment industry are one. Let us not forget there's big money involved. There's records and such. You see, these are selling like crazy. And you only got to look as far as who is on the board of ABC, CBS, NBC, and Turner to understand that they're probably involved in marketing some of his products, his music. And so, therefore, the more they talk about him, the more they can sell. So there's a business element here. And this is why wise people, mainly liberals, argued for years, do not let too much of the media fall into too few hands, because once you have a crossover between news and entertainment, you're going to have neither news nor entertainment. And that's where we are today, my friend. Did you hear what I just said? They didn't put it in those terms, but I just did. Once you permit a crossover in management and ownership between news and entertainment, you will have neither news nor entertainment. And so, therefore, what I mean by that is certainly we don't have news. We have sort of a news entertainment. And we don't really have entertainment anymore. It's like something other than real entertainment. It's a product. It's like a factory-made turkey as opposed to a naturally grown turkey. Let's put it to you that way. If you like naturally raised fowl, you understand the taste, or wild game itself, as opposed to, let us say, a frozen turkey at Thanksgiving that tastes as though it was a frozen turkey that was just defrosted. To me, Michael Jackson's music has always been nothing but a frozen turkey imperfectly thawed. I cannot put it any better than I just did. A frozen turkey imperfectly thawed. Mark that one down and put it in bronze, not on ice. This is the Savage Nation. The phone number is 1-800-449-8255. Never forget where Obama is. Never forget that Obama is giving away the store. Do not forget that he failed on North Korea, failed on Iran. He's on the wrong side of the Honduras issue, and this is just perfect, is it not, for the sheeple?
Savage. Michael Savage. Afternoons 3 to 7 on Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.
Coming up next from San Fran Freak Show, the Savage Nation from Talk 910 KNEW.
On the air, online, and on the go. This is Talk 910 KNEW.
Warning. The Michael Savage Show contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. Here is Michael Savage.
Here's some of what we were discussing today in the Savage Nation. Michael Jackson madness. The media makes morons, junkies, and pervs into heroes. And now they're making Michael Jackson into a national treasure, a saint even. He's getting more media time than Ronald Reagan got when he died. You'd think they were planning on having him lay in state in the rotunda of the Capitol.